Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Atomic Ambition, the podcast. I've been listening to a book over the past sort of 10, maybe 14 days, probably about 2 weeks, by a guy called Liam Grant. The book is called The Power of Connection. I don't tend to listen to books usually. I definitely prefer reading, but I wasn't sure about this book, even though the description sounded like it would be a good book. I wasn't sure, so I opted for the free audiobook. Save a bit of money, or rather don't waste money in case the book's no good. I'm going to buy this book though, basically because I did find it quite useful. So The Power of Connection, from Awkward to Awesome, is the subtitle. The reason I was intrigued by this book, because when you sort of read the description, the author's description of who the book is aimed at and what's included, I kind of felt it was aimed at me, but I wasn't sure that there would be anything new in the book. I was wrong. There's some new things in there. If you've never really explored socially awkward sort of communication books, then this is a great starting point, I think. So there's some things that I was already aware of. I mean, it talks about, small talk. It talks about a variety of other sort of communication strategies, which for socially awkward people can be difficult. Okay. So definitely it's a good starting point. Now, the one thing that has stood out to me is this thing which is called I statements. I feel this. I feel that. So I statements. Now, I suppose traditionally in communication, we want to make the communication about the people we are communicating with. So I statements initially kind of feel, I don't know, wrong. Perhaps they feel a little bit wrong, because when you say an I statement, the focus is on you. Like, I feel sad, I feel bad, I feel hungry. The emphasis is all on you. Now, I statements, I think, especially for us socially awkward people, they do have a benefit, and there is a power to using I statements. But you have to use them in the right way. I think in the past I have experienced people using I statements in the wrong way. Like, I don't know, saying something along the lines of, I feel like you never listen to me, or I feel frustrated when this happens. Now, I don't know, but if you hear somebody saying something like that, don't you just think they're whinging a little bit? That's kind of how I feel. I'm going to admit something here. I am guilty. I feel like you never listen to me. God, I'm guilty of that one. I know that it's my bad communication, but I'm guilty of saying that on too many occasions. So I have given myself a slap on the wrist, and I'm going to tell myself never to say that again, because if someone isn't listening to me, it's not them that's wrong. It's probably the way I'm trying to communicate. So anyway, I statements, I think they are quite powerful ways to communicate, but you have to do it in the right way. The correct sort of way of using I statements demonstrates empathy and respect for the other person. It doesn't just blame that person. I feel like you never listen to me. You're just blaming somebody for something rather than taking ownership. Yeah. So let's use that wrong way of using an I statement. I feel like you never listen to me, which is very judgmental. Yeah. You are judging the other person for never listening to you. And perhaps another way of using an I statement in a more positive way, showing empathy and respect, would be, I feel unheard when I'm interrupted because it makes me forget my thoughts. Yeah. So you're not blaming anybody. You are simply stating a fact that it makes you feel this certain way, and there's a reason why it makes you feel this way. Yeah, it's a genuine feeling rather than a judgment on the other person, which I think we have to be careful of when it comes to I statements. The world is full of fake I statements. You know, I feel angry, I feel sad. I think you can, I think you can tell a fake I statement if someone uses the word like. Like it's like in a real statement, you might say, "I feel angry, I feel happy, I feel confused." But a fake I statement would begin with "I feel like," and then after like, you're going to use the word you because you're blaming somebody. I feel like you don't care. I feel like you think I'm stupid. I feel like you're trying to manipulate me. I feel like you're always trying to control me. I feel like you. It's not a genuine I feel statement or I statement. I feel like you. It's a judgment call. Yeah? You're judging somebody, which is very, very wrong. Especially if you are like me, you're one of those socially awkward people and you find communication, social communication, really difficult. In a professional setting, the last thing you want to do is judge somebody else or make them feel like they've been judged. So if you're going to use an I statement, make sure you use an I statement correctly in the correct way. Yeah? So the correct way, or the most effective way, would be describing something you've observed. Okay. After that, following that with say the feeling, your actual internal emotion. How are you feeling? Sad, angry, upset, confused. Okay, and then explain why. Okay, so I know when I see you do that, I feel frustrated because it means I have to do this. Yeah. So it's a great book. I don't think it goes into as much detail as it could do. Okay, but it's definitely an interesting read. I really like the way Liam Grant, he talks about these I statements, and it really made me think about I statements and made me really think about something that I do, which is I use I statements to accuse somebody else of something. Yeah, and I think that's wrong. Yeah. So let's have another example. So a fake I statement. I feel like you don't respect my time when you show up 20 minutes late to a meeting. Yeah. I'm judging you. Yeah. There is no real emotion in that. And I am judging you, and it's a fake I statement. Whereas if I said something like, so I feel frustrated when we start our minute 20 minutes late because I worry we won't be able to finish on time. Could we start our meeting on time next week? I'm pretty sure you can feel the difference. I feel like you don't respect my time because I feel frustrated when we start our meetings late. Yeah. So I statements are good, especially for socially awkward people, shy people like us. But you've got to remember to use them correctly. Don't use them in the accusatory sense. I feel like you don't respect my time. No, that will make people hate you, or that will definitely not make people like you. Hate is a stronger word, but people will not like you if you start accusing them like that. Okay, and because we are already stressed or feeling awkward about our communication, we have to make sure that we don't upset anybody else. So let's use I statements, okay, in the assertive, genuine, empathetic method that we know we should use. Yeah, and like me, I have to stop saying to other people, I feel like you never listen to me. My wife, I probably say that to my wife more often than I ever should, and I'm not going to do that again. Okay, let's end on a note about bad communication. this is an interesting story. I'm not going to go into full details, but this was quite an interesting story. Somebody left a review on Airbnb about me saying I was a bad communicator. And do you know what? When that happened, I didn't know what to do. I sort of felt myself sinking into a hole about being a bad communicator. Anyway, I don't think I am a bad communicator. In that situation, I think it was an expectations problem. The expectations of communication hadn't been set correctly. If you're interested in hearing more about that story, then you should go to either LinkedIn or my Substack, where I've written a little story about what happened. Okay, guys. See you all again next week. Bye for now.